Hi, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm bringing you an important weekly update about the economy, not only in the U.S. but around the world. We continue to see pressure on, obviously, the U.S. economy and a very weak recovery, as I've talked about many times. And in fact, if we look at initial jobless claims, we're actually ratcheted up quite a bit. Highest level really in over 9 months. The ISM manufacturing data also came in very light. Now, while the government makes a lot of excuses why this has happened, I again go back to a weak U.S. recovery. While we're seeing substantial better recoveries in some of the emerging markets, in fact, the key country that we look at right now, I'll be honest with you, which is expected to take over the U.S. within the next 3 to 5 years in GDP, is going to be China. China continues to be red hot. We continue to own a position in China. Now, positions can change at any time based upon our market trend indicators and our relative strength indicators based upon our portfolio build. Now, one of the things I want to make a comment. Investors who don't shake it up, investors who don't make a change to their portfolio when necessary. And that doesn't mean every day or every week or every month, but it means making those necessary changes when appropriate, I think are going to be much better off down the road. I believe we will continue to see further growth in the emerging economies around this world for many years to come. And I believe we're going to continue to see higher inflationary pressures because of those economies growing. Hence the reason we have a position in gold, and hence the reason we have a position in the commodity index in order to basically capture that opportunity on the upside. We've seen a lot of volatility in just the last 2 or 3 days, especially in the precious metals. Silver is getting pounded, which I warned you about days ago, probably if not weeks ago, that it was a parabolic upside. Anytime it's parabolic up, we see a parabolic down. Although I don't see silver coming down to any kind of low point, I do see it probably coming down 30 to 40% off its high, basing and then maybe making a charge higher longer term as it's being used as an industrial based metal. If I look at gold, I actually like gold much better, and I'll tell you what's happening. Gold is still in a positive uptrend. All of our market trend indicators on gold, even though we've had a very small pullback in gold, our short-term, intermediate, and long-term indicators are still positive, and I believe the long-term indicator on gold will continue higher for many years to come, and I'll tell you why this is. The Federal Reserve continues to print money. They're going to do whatever it takes in order to deflate the dollar, which is going to, in my opinion, have the opportunity to inflate gold and commodity prices. Again, if you're not using either the commodities, precious metals within your portfolio, if you're not looking at the not only foreign currencies, but obviously looking at the weak dollar, I think the dollar will continue to be weaker. Now, people keep being or making comments about the dollar basically getting thrown out and no longer being our reserve currency around the world. That could happen one day. I don't think it's one of those things that's going to happen this year, next year, or really within the next 3 years. But on a longer term basis, could something like that happen? Anything is possible if the government in this country continues to print money the way they are and building debt, which I believe they will on the short term. Anything is possible. But I do look for a weaker dollar for years to come. We've really had a 25, 30-year period of a weak dollar in this country. If you go back 30 years, almost 40 years, dollar is weaker today than it was back then, and it continues to get weaker over time. Now, nothing goes down or goes up in a straight line. In fact, you're looking for a stair-step pattern up and a stair-step pattern down. So remember, when you're looking at your portfolio, make sure that it's actually being managed. I want to make one general comment. We have received dozens of comments and questions on this one from last Sunday's show, which I will talk about this Sunday's show. A lot of investors are wondering, is that person using really a money manager at all? If you are working with somebody with the title of advisor, the title advisor is a worthless title. Financial consultant, financial planner. These are just meaningless titles that do not tell you what that person does. If the firm you are using is not a registered investment advisor, and again, a registered investment advisor is not an advisor. An advisor is a meaningless title. You have to be a registered investment advisor, either through the SEC or the state, and in order to basically be licensed to give investment management or advisory services. Mr. Broker, or so-called advisor, who sits down with you and calls himself an advisor, chances are is no more than a salesman of investment products. That's it. They are not licensed to give advisory services. We had a gentleman call us last week very concerned and which is rightfully so. He finally figured out that his so-called advisor has been lying to him all these years, that he's no more than a broker. Use our fiduciary questionnaire. Go to our website, use our fiduciary questionnaire. You'll find out real quick if somebody will not sign off on that fiduciary questionnaire. You'll know exactly what you're dealing with. Over 90% of the people in this business are really just salespeople or brokers. They're not registered investment advisors licensed to give investment advisory services. So you may have just in a brokerage account, not an advisory account. And one of the ways you can check that out is look at your broker statement. Often on the bottom it'll say right there you have a brokerage account, not an advisory account. There is a huge difference. Until this Sunday show, which is going to be excellent, you want to listen in. This is Brian Resney. Make sure you do listen to this Sunday show from 10 to noon. And as always, if you're concerned about your money and you'd like to talk to us about managing your wealth without the conflicts of Wall Street, insurance salespeople, stockbrokers, or so-called advisors working in your best interest as a fiduciary, give us a call. We'd love to work with you and get your portfolio back on track. Until Sunday show, have yourself an extremely profitable week.